Hello my friends, welcome back to today's tutorial video. I am Melanie with melaniesmithstamps and we are going to do some wax seals today. I have an inlay technique that I'd like to share with you. I was just playing around with these new 3D wax seals from the Sealed 3D Botanical collection. And I'm putting 3 of the blue and 2 of the pink wax seals in my little oven there. And that was the peony butterfly wax seal there that I showed you. And I'm going to heat up this wax real quick. I do kind of speed this along pretty quickly so you don't have to wait for the wax to melt. So you'll see it speeding up here pretty quickly, a lot more quickly than it will at home for you. But I didn't want you to have to wait to get to the fun part. So I have it speeding along and I'm going to stir it just a little bit just to get a little marbled look. And then we will pour. Now, when I pour, I do like to let it stay off the heat just a little bit before I pour. I find this controls the wax a little bit. I'm doing right here, and it doesn't spread out as quickly. And when I'm trying to control the pour and in the shape that I want it, and here I'm going after an oval, I find giving it a little rest period before the pour actually helps. Now, trying to get the oval is a little challenging at times, but right here for this technique, I'm just trying to get a really good indentation. I'm going to be using the center of this wax seal for my technique. And this wax seal actually turns out really well, but the goal here is I'm going to inlay this wax seal inside our next wax seal. So it doesn't matter that the rim is not perfect because we're going to create a new rim for it. So this actually turned out really good. But we're going to do a new rim for it. So before I do that, I'm going to make some little wax enamel dots to coordinate, to use if I see fit in the future. And I always like to do that with my excess wax because you never know when those will come in handy. And why not? Let's not waste the wax. So now I'm going to put 6 wax beads in here because you need a little extra wax for the rim. These ovals do take extra wax to make. My very first one, I did not use enough. So I'm trimming off the rim here because we're going to inlay this wax seal into our next wax seal. So I'm trimming it to where it's just the flat portion of the wax seal. So you're just getting rid of the rim. You can do this with any scissors. I am using the Spellbinders shears here. And that's all we're doing. Now, this is a little tricky because you're going to have to refit that back into the seal. And to do that, you're going to need to get your seal a little warm for it to stick because the brass doesn't want to stick to the wax, the cool wax. So I am heating it there a little bit on the edge, but it's almost better to heat it from the top. So our wax is almost ready. And I believe I do stir it a little bit. I'm taking the wax off the tip there and stir it just a little bit to make sure there's no chunks in there and that it's ready. And I'm going to take it off the heat, and you see I'm heating the wax seal while I'm letting the wax rest that's in the spoon. I'm actually heating the wax seal over the light. So that is just warming it up just a tad while I make this pour on the right hand side. It is a little tricky because you're doing 2 things at once. It takes a little practice. But now, see how hard it is to pick that seal up? But it needs to be a little bit warm. But once you grab it, you sit it down in the wax that you've just done. And because you've used 6 wax beads, you get enough wax to push out around your original wax bead or wax seal. And I just made a couple extra wax enamel dots, as you could tell. And we will let that set, and you want to make sure that you actually let that set long enough to where that border is dry. I mean, cooled down, because I've put my fingers in it before a little too quickly, and that's not a good thing. You've got to start over. So live and learn. But here we go. Our first inlaid wax seal is done, and I'm going to get it here for you so you can see it in just a second. I'm letting it completely cool while we heat up our next bit of wax. And there is our first inlaid butterfly, and that again is the peony butterfly. So now we're going to do another one, and I believe we're going to do the forest mushroom this time. This is the other seal from the sealed 3D Botanical collection. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this one turns out so darn good that I don't even inlay it. I keep it for future use because I loved how perfect the actual rim was. So I just kept going and decided to keep this one and keep going, and let's get another one. But I've used, I believe, gold and copper in this one. I wanted earthy tones because I believe I will use these more in the fall. I love mushrooms in the fall, and I just can see these used with a lot of mushroom cards. I hope we get mushroom stuff in the fall, but that's what I'm thinking, and I just loved how good that turned out. So yep, I just put that up there. I'm like, I'm keeping that one. I ain't cutting the edges off of that one. We're just gonna keep going. And so we've got, what, 3 or 4 gold there, and then I put a bronze one in there too, and we will make a mixed one. And then I believe we do a bronze border on this one. So we will speed up the actual melting process here, and we will go for another one. I wanted to make at least 2 so you could see the process and get a good feel for the technique before I let you go today. I just wanted to share this with you. I had a lot of fun experimenting with this, and I wanted to just share it with you. The other cool thing you can do with this 3D, these 3D wax seals, is you can use multiple colors in each of the cavities. I haven't tried it yet. I really need a couple new tools before I give it a go. But if any of you try that, I would love to hear from you and let me know how it goes. I've seen people do it, but I haven't yet experimented with that. I think the butterfly one would be a really good one with that, because I think the butterfly itself, the flower, and the greenery could all be done in 3 separate colors. I need to get myself a metal, like a, not a spatula, but a palette knife. You need to have a metal palette knife and a good pick, which I probably could use that pick I'm using to stir with, to be able to get the excess wax out of the cavities that you don't want it in. But it's similar to this, but you're actually pouring the wax into the cavities straight. So you're pouring in the opposite direction. But it's something I'll have to play with in the future, and if I ever get it down, I'll teach it to you. But so there, I've trimmed the border off of this one, and now we're going to inlay it into our next pour. And so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to heat the actual wax seal while we pour this wax for our new rim. So I was just making sure the wax seal is going in the right direction, and then I have the fit ready, because you don't want it to be upside down. You're doing things so quickly and in such a method that you don't want to have the time of, let's say, the mushrooms being upside down and trying to fit it. So I wanted to make sure it was in the right direction, so everything is in order and will be ready to go, because you're doing everything in such a method that Like now I need to remember to pick up that and put it over the heat. Yep. So it needs to be warming up while I'm making this oval. And so you have to be thinking of everything at the same time. That looks like a pretty good one. So I have to get that picked up. Takes a few times to get it to catch. And it won't stay in the seal forever, so you got to kind of work quick. And then it all sits there and you wait. And remember, when you're lowering your wax seal down into your wax, to go slow. You want to guide it. You don't want to push down. You want to guide it into your wax, and that way you get an even rim around all the sides. That will help you in the end. And take a look at our seals. Didn't they turn out good? I just love it. Now I've got some others that I'm going to show you here. I'm going to paint the mushrooms here so you can see them even better. I'm using the gold paint pen, the Deco paint pen that's available on the Spellbinders website. I will have all these items linked down below for your convenience. If there's anything you want to pick up, those links do support my channel, so thank you for using them whenever possible with any of the companies you shop with. That here is one that I did with pinks and golds. And then this is my favorite. I just love this. And I'll have photos here at the end to show you as well. And then these, of course, are the ones we did today. And here are some extras. I love the purple and silver. And the other ones we did today as well. So thank you. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye, my friends.